Yo, what's going, guys? This is jmoneyhs back again with another video. Today we are going to be going over the Hearthstone decks that are best to climb with in this meta since the changes. Yeah, that happened a while ago. Sorry I'm late with this video, by the way. I should have had it up last week or something, but I wanted to have some deck profile highlights and stuff like that. Yeah. But anyways, be sure to like, subscribe, so that way you don't miss out on any Hearthstone content. Anyways, let's get into everything. Yeah, so first things first, Druid. Specifically, Dragon Druid, which ain't even Dragon Druid. It's basically Mana Druid. Basically, get 1,000,000 mana, have Trog Gem Tosser deal 16 damage to the face, or just have you steal all your opponent's mana with your ramped up Doomkin and everything, and just win the game that way. Yeah, this deck is really stupid. The fact that you can get Malfurion's Gift and New Heights and Splish Splash Whelp, all these 3-mana ramps and stuff like that. It's pretty ridiculous. And then you also have Puppet Master Dorian in here to get 1-mana copies of stuff like, say, Doomkin, Marin the Manager, or Yogg, or Ziliax, or Eonar. You know, that stuff is pretty ridiculous. And it's been pretty much one of the most popular decks on ladder, and yeah, I guarantee you somebody that is watching this video has come across this deck and absolutely hated it because, Druid doing Druid things. Like this deck title says, nerf Druid, please. It definitely needs some more nerfs. I'm just going to leave it at that. But next we go into Handbuff Paladin, which has still remained the best deck. One of the best decks in the meta. Basically, the only thing you gotta really watch out for is Yogg-Saron. Yogg-Saron to either take one of your minions that has Rush or something like that, or have when it forces all your minions to attack each other. So on a Yogg board, you probably want Amitas on the board, so that way it only takes 2 damage at a time. But yeah, just buff up your entire hand. Have the OTK with Leroy plus outfit tailors, or Southsea deckhands plus a couple outfitters, and just go face. I added Grifta into this list because I thought it would be a pretty cool inclusion. Maybe you could get the 1-mana discover the deal 12 damage to the enemy hero or something. Deal 6 damage. You can bring that up to face, or you could take control of an enemy minion. But yeah, Handbuff Paladin still really good. Then next we have a deck that I recently highlighted. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. It will be it's on my channel last week. It is Insanity Warlock. Yeah, this is getting insane because Tidepool Pupil is the most broken 1-drop in Hearthstone right now. Yeah, you can discover a third Crescendo, or you could discover a Slippery Slope for freezing. You could discover Soul Freeze if you want, but yeah, most likely you just want to either get Encroaching Insanity or Crescendo to buff up your fatigue damage and everything like that, so that way you have insane Craze Conductors or insane Crescendos. And basically just have an OTK when you go Popgar into everything with Crescendo and stuff like that. But yeah, this is the Death Knight package with the Summoner Dark Marrow, and then you also have Slippery Slope as well as the Dreadhound Handler. It's been doing pretty good. It did pretty good for me whenever I highlighted the deck last week. Once again, go check that video out if you haven't already. Unfortunately, when I was recording that video, my recording software decided to get rid of the default on the microphone that it would pick up, and didn't pick up on microphone at all. So, I had to like post commentary it, but it did pretty good. Speaking of Warlock, Pain Warlock has been doing really good. It's one of those decks that can spiral out either way. You can either kill your opponent by turn 5 or turn 4 with things like Party Fiend and Blood Treant and stuff like that, dropping an Imprisoned Horror and Molten Giant and stuff like that. Or you can just die in one turn because you are like at 2 HP on turn 4. It's insane. The things that you can do. This list has Party Planner Vana, which I think is interesting. Kind of like the Greybow thing when it summons a Ouroboros. But, I mean, yeah, you can get that out. 6 mana, like 12/12 in stats. That's pretty good for this deck. Yeah. And then you can reset your health at any point with Infernal, and then there's also there's a Popgar in there as well if you need some like life steal. And then Sheriff Barrelbrim is really good, especially with the Badlands Jail. If there's a problematic minion on the board, boom, it's gone for 3 turns. So yeah, it makes this deck really, really good. Flood Paladin. I have a lot of words to say about Flood Paladin. I'm surprised it hasn't been nerfed more than it already has. It's gotten like Showdown nerfed. It's gotten Boogie Down nerfed. And it's still absolutely insane. Basically just swarm the board with Boogie Down, Showdown, Muster for Battle, and shit like that. Then you play like Ziliax as well as a Crusader Aura, Flash Sail, and drop a Sea Giant. Kill your opponent in like 2 turns. 3 turns max. This deck is absolutely insane. Like, again, just swarm the board. Swarm the board. If there's minions on the board, you're winning. If there's minions on the board in general, you win. And you have like some really sticky minions too, like the Mermy with the Reborn and everything. So if it dies, you have to kill it again. Righteous Protector has Taunt and Divine Shield, so Mining Casualties is pretty sticky as well. Like Muster for Battle, Showdown, it's insane the amount of value that you can get out of this stuff. And then also you can use Toy Captain Tarum as well as Amitus for to deal with some problematic minions. Like say if there's a big taunt in the way, you just play Amitus, set its attack and health to 2, and then or you could just Tarum, buff one of your guys, and then the mini Tarum just make it a 1/1. And then you'll have that 1/4 weapon from the Muster for Battle, so you can just destroy it. Or you can go Prismatic Beam. Prismatic Beam's pretty good AoE as well for the enemy board. Flood Paladin is absolutely nuts. Then we have another deck I highlighted, but it was more so like a couple of weeks ago. But it is still good nonetheless. It is Rainbow Death Knight. I almost called it like a C&E CBT because I have that, but I don't want to be saying cock and ball torture for Hearthstone and everything. I need to actually change the stuff for that. Not virus module. We'll go with a twin module. Yeah, there we go. So that's the modules you want to go for Ziliax is the twin module as well as the perfect module because Eliza buffs up the second Ziliax as well, But yeah, you just swarm the board. It's kind of like Flood Paladin. You swarm the board, kill your own minions off, and then activate Horizon's Edge a million times. Activate Corpse Bride with the amount of corpses that you have spent. Same with Runes of Darkness or Corpse Sickle. Corpse Sickle is absolutely insane. It is like infinite damage as long as you have 3 corpses. And then you just play a big Climatic Necrotic Explosion. And yeah, if you have any problematic minions, you deal with it with Primus or Reska. You can take control of it with Reska or Army of the Dead. Army of the Dead is very good as well. Headless Horseman is very good as well. Mayor and the Manager in here for the Wondrous Wand, most likely to try and get the expensive minions for 0 mana. This deck is pretty good. I've been playing with it a lot, like in my free time. It's probably one of my favorite decks to go with because I love not only Corpse Sickle, but I also love the Climatic Necrotic Explosion. I miss the Malignant Horror, the 4 mana 2/4 with Reborn that like summoned itself when you spend 4 corpses and everything at the end of turn. That was like one of my favorite cards in this deck. You play it, you win, pretty much, because you spend 4 corpses on turn 4 for the buff to the Climatic Necrotic Explosion and everything. I just love it. I love the Diamond Eliza as well. The Ghoul's Knight pairs really well with it as well. Typical lists run 2 Threads of Despair, but 2 Threads of Despair is like one too many in my opinion. I only go with 1. I only ever need 1. If I have 2, they just stay in my hand like 9 times out of 10 and don't do anything. And then you also have Helia in there for another win con and everything. So if you get Runes of Darkness, you can get Staff of the Primus for extra plagues into your opponent's deck. But yeah, this deck is really good. It also has a Dreadhound Handler, which is a really good 2-drop for this deck. Really good 2-drop. Just drop on the board if you don't have Mining Casualties, or if you don't want to like use hero power. If your opponent plays a Miracle Salesman, you can just drop a Dreadhound Handler to deal with it. So yeah, this deck is pretty good. I love it. It's probably one of my favorite decks in my opinion. Then we go on to Pirate Shaman. Yeah, this is one of those decks where it just swarms the board. You can play Carefree Cookie to evolve all your stuff into things that cost 1 more and everything like that. You have Wave of Nostalgia in here, so if you have a wide enough board, you can play Wave of Nostalgia. Have a board full of legendary minions, and your opponent has Diddly Squat because he can deal with it and like really easily. But yeah, like definitely have like patches in the opening hand. Treasure Distributor as well. Like Treasure Distributor is absolutely broken. Why did they change that card? They need to change it back if we're being completely honest, because it is ridiculous. But yeah, you can swarm very easily with cards like Sigil of Skydiving, Gorgon Zormu. You can swarm with Dangerous Cliffside. Yeah, you can swarm very easily. So you can have those minions on the board for the Wave of Nostalgia if you do find it in the deck. Yeah, it is very, very good. And you have Golganeth in here as well as Jam Session, Pop-Up Book. Then Murloc Growfin as well. They can deal with the enemy board in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, Pirate Shaman, pretty good. It's one of those decks that you just gotta like swarm the board and you win. 9 times out of 10. And then we go into Razzle Dazzle not Shaman. It does use Shaman cards, but it's Death Knight. Razzle Dazzle Death Knight, where it has 2 Frost runes and 1 Unholy rune. Yeah, I'm surprised that it doesn't run Helia. Can it not run Helia? It can run Helia. Why does it not run Helia? I don't know. Especially since you're running Down with the Ship. It looks like you might want to run Helia. I might add a Helia into this list before I post this video. Maybe get rid of a Horn of Winter. Yeah, get rid of a Horn of Winter for Helia. There you go. Now you have a secondary win con with Helia and Down with the Ship for plagues and everything. Yeah. You play like a bunch of different spell schools like Frost, Shadow for Down with the Ship. And then you also have fire for a Malta Magma. And then natural talent for nature spells. And then you can get out the Razzle Dazzler to summon a bunch of 5-cost minions. Or you can summon it's mainly just summon Razzle Dazzler and have a bunch of 5-cost minions. But yeah, you can draw like a bunch of spells with buttons, and then you can discount those spells with Cabaret Headliner. That is like massive mana cheat. It's pretty decent. Like I said, I put in Hell Yeah instead of like a second Horn of Winter because like especially with a deck like this, like you're not gonna be refreshing a lot of mana. Like sometimes I don't know. In my opinion, I think you might want to go Hell Yeah with Down with the Ship for like a secondary win con, but that's just me. I could be in the minority on that one. And then we have Zarimi Priest. Zarimi Priest is still kicking it after the big changes to Thirsty Drifter as well as Timewinder Zarimi for a long time ago, but it has seen a lot of resurgence with things such as the Trusty Fishing Rod in Hunter, as well as the Sasquatch has been pretty good in this list as well. But yeah, Gorgonzormu is in here as well for, again, swarm the board and you win with decks like these. It's kind of stupid, the amount of like board swarming decks that you have in Hearthstone right now. You don't really, if you're not swarming the board, you're not really winning a lot of the times. But yeah, you have your Gift Wrap Whelp, you have your Kyurgen, you have Dreamboat in here, Scale Replica. You only run when Clay Matriarch, so you have more of a chance to draw Zarimi from the Scale Replica as opposed to when it was 2 Clay Matriarchs in the deck. Because I know some versions ran 2 Clay Matriarchs just so that way they can get out the 8 dragons for the Zarimi. This list runs Amanthul and Sasquatch. I think the Sasquatch for like board swarming, like if your opponent like say brawls a board, you can play Sasquatch and revitalize your board pretty much. You can really easily swarm and get this out of hand. You can also use Sasquatch to summon another Amanthul if you really ever so choose, which that would be insane, if I'm being completely honest. Zarimi Priest, been pretty good. It's still really good, in my opinion. I'm just glad that they changed Ziliax, the ticking module, to be friendly minions. That way it can never cost 0 again. That was really stupid. Oh, man. And speaking of stupid, we got more Druid. This time we've got Reno Druid. You already know typical Druid shenanigans. Just ramp up a bunch with things like New Heights, as well as Malfurion's Gift or Splish Splash Whelp. But then you also have Crystal Cluster. I'm surprised this list doesn't run Doomkin. That is really surprising. Especially with how much Druid absolutely loves Doomkin and everything like that. It's like their second child or something. It's like a child to them. You get enough mana to where you play Rheostraza early, get a million different dragons, get like a bunch of different Phis and stuff like that. You can deal with the minions with Yoxeron, Ziliax, as well as Reno and stuff like that. You can take control of one of your opponent's minions with MC Tech is seen play in this deck. Gorgonzormu in this deck for early survivability. You also have Fizzle if you want to like copy your ENR, Reno, Yogg, stuff like that. Another Rheostraza. You can't have enough Rheostrazas. I'm just saying. Having 2 of those down, like you're just gonna win the game, even if you're in fatigue. But yeah, if Reno Druid gets out of hand, it gets out of hand fast, and it is hard to come back from it. Then for the last two lists, first we have Elemental Shaman. I really like Elemental Shaman, in my opinion. I think I did a video covering it a little bit ago, like last week. Yeah, it will be 1 week from tomorrow. So I posted it last week. Go check that video out if you haven't already. I really love Elemental Shaman as well. It's probably one of my other favorite decks in the meta. Even with the Lamplighter nerf, I don't care about the Lamplighter nerf. I just love playing cards like Scar as well as Calamos in the year 2024. It's really cool. And then you have Magatha to draw 1,000,000 elementals if you need him. Living Prairie is absolutely nuts in this list. But yeah, I absolutely love Elemental Shaman, in my opinion. I don't have a lot of words for it. You have Glacial Shard in here if you want to freeze any of your opponent's minions. But yeah, Incendius is really fun to play with as well. This is just more so like a really fun deck to play with. And then finally, we have Elemental Mage. Yeah, it's really compressed deck. There's no like one-ofs in this list. But yeah, you have Brewmasters in here to bounce your Lamplighters, get extra Lamplighter value there. Sleet Skater as well as Then you have Sleet Skater in here for freezing and gaining armor. You know, that is... Sleet Skater is like very annoying if you're playing against Elemental Mage and everything. Tainted Remnant is absolutely wild with the 7 damage it deals. It can definitely handle early board. Same with Triple Wick Trickster. Overflow Surger is really good with Flame Revenant. It is very, very good with it. But yeah, the main combo is just Saloon Brewmaster on a Lamplighter, so that way you get multiple Lamplighter bounces and effects on it. But yeah, like, it's just really curve-heavy deck. But yeah, it's really fun to play with, too. But anyways, that is the list. In my opinion, the best decks to climb with. Let me know what your favorite deck is to climb with in the meta so far. But yeah, once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. Be sure to like and subscribe so that way you don't miss out on any more Hearthstone content. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Take it easy.